My girlfriend told me I was just a stage and that she'd settle down once she finished having fun, so I completely stepped back and watched her fall apart without me. I, a 26-year-old man, was dating a girl named Chloe, 24, for 2.5 years. I met her through a friend's girlfriend at a rooftop party downtown. She was one of those people who walk into a room and effortlessly capture all the attention. Very outgoing, always eager to do something new. The opposite of my relaxed, quiet style. The first year was genuinely good. She pulled me out of my comfort zone, took me to concerts I would never have gone to, made me try sushi, which I still hate, by the way, and even convinced me to take yoga classes. Yes, I was that guy making weird poses at 6 a.m. alongside a group of moms in activewear. No judgment, please. My dad, George, got a real kick out of the situation. Yoga, seriously? What's next? Detox juices? He's been my best friend since my mom passed away when I was 12. He raised me alone, taught me the plumbing trade. He never remarried because he said one woman trying to change him in life was enough. He has a knack for saying exactly what everyone is thinking, but no one dares to say. But starting in the second year, something began to change. Chloe was absent for entire weekends for supposed trips with friends that seemed to multiply like rabbits. She started following festival influencers on social media. She talked all the time about some amazing party in Las Vegas or an alternative event in Miami. She surrounded herself with people who had that live your best life energy, who constantly uploaded stories with motivational quotes about sunsets. The ringleader of the group was her friend Kara, a kind of devil on Chloe's shoulder, but without subtlety. She was 26 and had a marketing job too vague to justify the constant trips to every major festival on the West Coast. She always found a way to slip phrases into the conversation like, "Chloe, you're too young to be tied down to a relationship. You should enjoy your 20s. When my dad met Kara at a barbecue, he didn't hesitate to tell me, "That one is trouble. She has empty eyes and the personality of a self-help billboard." He wasn't wrong. Kara texted her constantly, suggestions for parties, getaways, supposed unmissable opportunities. Every time those messages arrived, our plans fell apart. A dinner would turn into, "Kara found an epic party in a warehouse," or "Kara's friend knows a promoter who can get us into an exclusive event." The moment everything exploded was a few months ago on a regular Thursday. We were eating a stir-fry I had prepared. Yes, I cook. Judge me if you want. I asked her if she wanted to come with me to my friend Liam's wedding in October. It's going to be good. Open bar, great music. He's been planning it for months. She laughed. Not a flirty laugh, but a full-blown chuckle, as if I had asked her to help me carry a refrigerator. October? That's 5 months away. Who knows where we'll be then? I put down my fork. What do you mean, where we'll be? She took a sip of that $10 organic wine she had insisted on buying and looked at me as if I was slow on the uptake. David, let's be honest. This is fun, yes, but I'm not ready for something serious yet. I'm 24. I want to travel, meet people, live experiences. I don't want to tie myself down to weddings and couple stuff. So, what am I to you? And here comes the kicker. She paused, another sip of wine as if considering a diplomatic proposal. You're comfortable, safe, like a blanket that provides stability. You're the kind of person I'll come back to when I'm ready for all that. But for now, you're just a stage while I figure out what I want. A stage. I felt like I was in one of those movie scenes where everything suddenly goes silent. A stage. Don't take it the wrong way, she said. It's nothing personal. It's just that I haven't gotten tired of having fun yet. When I'm 28 or 29, I'll have calmed down, and then I'll be ready for the serious stuff, marriage, kids, that whole boring deal. And you think I'm just going to wait? She shrugged as if we were talking about what series to watch that night. Why wouldn't you? We're good together. I just need to get this party phase out of my system. You'll still be here with your stable job, earning well, being the reliable guy. That's your thing. I was literally a placeholder in her story, something she planned to return to after running through her fun chapters. Good to know where I stand, I told her. Don't be dramatic. I'm being honest. Most guys would lie to you and keep you hanging. At least I'm telling you the truth. You're right. I appreciate the honesty. She smiled as if she had just signed a peace treaty, then went back to scrolling Instagram, looking at vacation photos in Bali from some influencer. See? That's why I like you. You're mature. That night, I made a decision. First, I called my dad. "What now?" he said, his voice dry. And when Dad gets like that, it's a bad sign. He doesn't yell. He gets cold and calculating. "I'm just a stage," I told him. "A temporary replacement until she's ready for something real." "Congratulations," he replied. "You've just been given the best possible information. Some people take years to find that out." "You found out in one single conversation." "What do you mean?" "She told you exactly who she is and what you mean to her. Believe her and act accordingly." So, I acted. No drama, no accusations, no begging, just cold, practical adjustments. That very weekend, the change began. She wanted to go to an underground party that Kara had discovered. "Come on, it's going to be incredible. The DJ is next level." "No, thanks. You have fun." She was surprised but seemed relieved. More freedom to do what she wanted. "I was starting to think you were getting intense." What she didn't know was that I was using those weekends for something else. First, I stopped investing in the relationship. Not out of revenge, just logic. I stopped filling her fridge. Why stock the kitchen of someone who is only temporary? I stopped hanging out with her party friends. Why make connections with people who would soon disappear from my life? She didn't notice at first. She was too busy living her best life with Kara as her cheerleader. Every weekend was a different adventure. Pool parties, festivals, spontaneous getaways to Austin or Nashville. Her Instagram looked like a catalog of rooftop bars and photos dancing in places I didn't recognize. I, on the other hand, rebuilt my life in silence. I enrolled in that carpentry course I'd been putting off for years. I discovered I was quite good with the table saw. I joined a hiking group on Saturday mornings, just as she was sleeping off her wild Friday hangovers. I started volunteering at a community center, teaching basic programming to kids. But most importantly, I started looking for a house. I had saved for years from my plumbing jobs, always waiting for the right moment or for us to be ready. Well, if there was no us, why keep waiting? I found a property in Riverside that I loved. An old house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a huge yard. It needed serious work, but it had an incredible structure. Built in 1954, original wooden floors, a modern design fireplace, a kitchen straight out of the 70s, a bathroom with avocado green tiles. But I could see the potential. During the inspection, I discovered something unexpected. The original copper pipes were in better shape than many modern installations I had seen. The only thing requiring a complete overhaul was the electrical panel. The rest was ready for building a new life, without her. The structure of that house hadn't moved an inch in over 70 years. I went to check it out with my dad, George. He walked around for about 10 minutes, inspected the foundation, checked the electrical panel, and tested the water pressure. The roof is firm, the foundation is in perfect shape, the electrical needs some work, but nothing serious. It would be foolish not to buy it, he said, convinced. "Do you think I can handle all the renovations?" I asked. "I've taught you this since you were 8. Besides, I'm not dead. I can still swing a hammer." The previous owners were an elderly couple who lived there for 40 years. They hadn't changed anything, but they had kept it impeccable. They even left the workshop in the garage with an antique workbench and tools from the 1950s. Dad almost had a heart attack seeing them. "These tools are worth more than your down payment." I made the offer without telling Chloe a word. She was in Coachella with Kara, posting stories covering herself in glitter and dancing with DJs I'd never heard of. Just as I got the message that my offer had been accepted, she was sending me a video of a giant cactus art installation. "Missing you, love. This is amazing. Can't wait to tell you all about it." "Have fun," I replied, and went back to reviewing the inspection report with Dad. "And when are you going to tell the party princess about the house?" he asked. "Why would I? She's not going to live there." "That's my boy," he said, smiling. Everything started to click thanks to the hiking group. Every Saturday at 7 a.m. we met at different points in the city for a walk. Much better than sleeping until 2 p.m. trying to recover from a party, as I did when Chloe was out. That's where I met Eliza. She's 23, a personal trainer, and has a dry wit that caught me by surprise. Our first conversation was about trail mix. "Whoever put raisins in this clearly hates joy," she said, picking them out of her little bag. "Finally, someone with sense. Raisins are sad grapes." "Wow, that's dark. I like it." We started hiking together more often. Just as friends at first, because I was technically still with Chloe, although she had already made it clear I was only a temporary replacement. Eliza helped me choose tiles for the house renovation. It turned out she had great taste and knew a lot more about home improvement than one would expect from someone who lives in a gym. "Why do you know so much about grout and backsplashes?" I asked her as we walked through Home Depot. "My dad's a contractor. I spent summers working with him instead of going to camp. I learned more about plumbing than most of the men I train." She was right. The first day she came to help with the house, Dad was installing the new kitchen cabinets. I was nervous about how they would get along, but I shouldn't have worried. "You must be Eliza," Dad said without looking up from his level. "David has told me about you. Good things, I hope. He mentioned you have opinions about tiles. That can be very good or very bad." Eliza laughed. "Depends on the tile, but yes, I have opinions about almost everything." "I already like her," Dad said, then turned to her. "Hand me that drill and tell me, what do you think of subway tile? It's classic but overused. Good for selling? Boring for living?" "Yeah, I like her." Eliza's knowledge of construction was real. The following weekend, she showed up with her own tool belt and immediately spotted a mistake in the kitchen layout that would have cost me thousands if not corrected. "You can't put the dishwasher there unless you divert that gas line. Look how it runs right behind the cabinet you plan to install." Dad was impressed, and I was starting to fall in love. Meanwhile, Chloe's party phase intensified. Her posts were increasingly extreme. Photos with random guys at festivals, captions like "creating memories with new friends." Once during lunch with Dad, he saw one of those photos as I scrolled through my stories. "Looks like she's going to overdose. On attention. What is she aiming for with all this?" "I don't think she has a plan. Kara convinced her that this is happiness." The breaking point came at the community center. I was teaching basic programming to a 12-year-old boy named Nicholas. When his mother came to pick him up, she told me, "You're so good with kids. Do you have any?" "Not yet, but someday. Your girlfriend is lucky. It's not common to find men like that." I almost laughed. My girlfriend was probably somewhere in the Nevada desert, maybe under the influence of some drug, and making it clear that kids or commitment weren't on her radar. That night, I sent her a message. "We need to talk when you get back." "Ooh, sounds serious. You're not proposing, are you?" "That would be so weird," she replied with a bunch of laughing emojis. "Definitely not." She returned from Burning Man 3 days later, looking like she had survived a sandstorm, sunburned, exhausted, and smelling of patchouli and regret. She came to my apartment. I still hadn't told her about the house. Kara, apparently, had stayed in Las Vegas for an unmissable party. "So, what's the serious thing you wanted to tell me? Please tell me you're not going to get weird or intense. I had an amazing time, and I don't want to ruin it." "Actually, I wanted to thank you." "Thank me for what?" "For being honest about what you think of me. It helped me see everything clearly." She looked uncomfortable. "I didn't mean it in a bad way." "I know exactly how you meant it. You want to have fun now. Settle down later. I respect that. But I've realized I don't want to be a temporary stage in anyone's life, so we should end this without drama." "You're leaving me?" "We're leaving each other. You want freedom. I want to be valued. Everyone wins." She was genuinely surprised. This wasn't how she thought things would end. In her mind, I was supposed to wait like a loyal dog, grateful every time she came back. "But we work. You're perfect. For later." That's the key word. Later. "You're overreacting. I just need time to clear my head." What a dramatic way to take everything. Take all the time you need. It just won't be by my side. Ridiculous. Fine, but don't come crawling back later when you realize what you lost. Most people wouldn't even have been so honest. She left angry, disoriented. It wasn't even an hour before she started posting stories with quotes about recognizing your worth and men who can't handle strong, independent women. Fine by me. I had baseboards to install after all. I called my dad to tell him it was official. The relationship was over. And how did she take it? He asked. How you'd imagine. Dramatic phrases about men who can't handle sincerity. Perfect. You're coming over tomorrow. We still need to install those baseboards. While I focused on my house renovations, Chloe plunged into a non-stop party phase. Her Instagram profile turned into a constant gallery of outings, festivals, and getaways with friends. Every post talked about freedom, authenticity, and her new life. In contrast, I focused on advancing with my home. The hiking group turned into a kind of weekly therapy. I also spent more time with Eliza, as friends at first, although we got along better and better. She was the one who helped me choose a new refrigerator when the old one finally died. Black stainless steel shows fewer fingerprints, she told me as we argued in an appliance store. Yes, but classic stainless steel matches the dishwasher I already bought, I replied. Buying a dishwasher before you have a functional kitchen, that's having faith in the future. My dad George was there too. He's always been optimistic about absurd things, but this time it at least makes sense. Eliza started helping with some projects and spending more time at the house. Dad treated her like she was family, his silent way of giving approval. Eliza, can you hold this level while I mark here? He asked her one day. Sure, George, she replied. Well, David, your girlfriend has a steadier hand than you. She's not my girlfriend yet, I said. Did you hear that, Eliza? Yet. Yes, I heard it, she said with a smile. Perfect. Now both of you shut up and help me with this cabinet. The funny thing is that Kara, a mutual acquaintance, started following everything I posted on my social media and relaying it to Chloe. I posted normal photos, hikes, activities with the kids at programming camp, even my failed attempt at making homemade pasta, and that seemed to bother Chloe. The simple fact that I was doing well without her was intolerable. Kara left several comments with a passive-aggressive tone like, wow, someone is really enjoying single life, or hope you're not faking happiness while you're actually broken inside. I blocked her after the third comment. Soon after, Chloe started showing up in places I frequented, my Sunday morning coffee shop, the gym. She even showed up at the community center, saying she wanted to volunteer. David, what a coincidence running into you here. Hi, Chloe. Did you come to help the kids? Yes, of course. I love kids. I want to give back. Teach them there's more to life than just working. The coordinator asked about her availability. Suddenly, she remembered she had a trip to Mexico with Kara, then a festival in Colorado, and later a weekend with friends in Las Vegas. She never showed up again. The real explosion happened when she found out I had bought a house. Not from me, but from Matt, a mutual friend who helped me move the sofa. My phone blew up. You bought a house? When were you planning to tell me? I can't believe you made a decision like that without consulting me. We talked about buying a house together. That last part made me laugh out loud. We had never talked seriously about it. In fact, she was clear about not being ready to settle down. I replied, I bought a house thinking about my future. You made it clear you weren't part of it. Why would I consult you? Because we were together for 2.5 years. It's a huge decision. We were together. It was your choice. You're being ridiculously childish. I never said I didn't want to be with you. You said I was a stage, a temporary pastime. Those were your words. She tried calling me about 15 times, but I was busy helping Eliza plant tomatoes in the backyard. It turned out she knew a lot about gardening too. That night, Chloe vented on social media. She posted a long message about men who make important decisions behind your back and don't know how to communicate. From a fake account, Kara backed her up in the comments, accusing me of being manipulative and feeling threatened by Chloe's independence. Her friends joined in, calling me dishonest. The irony was evident. The person who treated me as a stage was now furious because I had built a future without her. A month passed in silence. I was still living in the house, still a work in progress, but already habitable. The vegetable garden was starting to bear its first fruits. Life was good. Eliza and I were officially dating. We were moving slowly, but everything felt different from the start. She talked about the future, including me without reservation. She made plans 2 weeks out without fear of commitment. It was a refreshing novelty. Dad noticed it. "This is normal," he told me one day as we installed baseboards. "No drama, no games, just two people who genuinely like each other." "Yeah, it's nice," I replied. "Nice? No, it's healthy, and that's much better." Then came Chloe's 25th birthday, and something clicked for her. Her Instagram ditched the party photos and filled up with quotes about new beginnings and personal growth, fewer shots, more inspirational quotes. She texted me, "Hi, I've been reflecting a lot lately. Can we talk?" I agreed purely out of curiosity. We met at a central coffee shop, one of those with exposed brick and overly expensive coffees. She looked different, duller, like someone who had been running aimlessly for months and suddenly stopped. "Thanks for coming. I know things between us ended weirdly." "What's up, Chloe?" "I've thought a lot about what I really want. I realize I was being immature before, but I'm ready now." "Ready for what?" "For something serious. To settle down. I've left that party phase behind. I'm ready for the next chapter. With you." She said it as if she were doing me a favor. As if I should be grateful that she now considered me worthy of her time. "So, because you decided it's time, I should just be available?" "We got along well, David. You know that. I just needed to grow, to experience certain things. Now I know what I want." "And what makes you think I was waiting in the meantime?" "Because you loved me. I know you did. That doesn't just disappear. Besides, let's be honest, you're a plumber. It's not like you have a million options." Even then, she was still talking down to me. "You're right, I did love you, but that's over. Past tense," I told her. "You yourself said I was just a stage, and I acted accordingly." "That's not what I meant." "Yes, it was. You wanted to party, have fun without me, and then come back when the excitement wore off, as if I were your retirement plan." She burst into tears. Not of sadness, but of frustration. "So, you're punishing me. All this with the house was to hurt me." "The house has nothing to do with you. It's my future project. A future you clearly stated you didn't want to share, at least not right now. I just did what you told me. I took you at your word." "I saw the photos on Instagram with that trainer. It has to do with her, Eliza." "No, this has nothing to do with her. This is about me choosing to be with someone who doesn't see me as a last resort option." That comment hit her. She literally flinched. "I never said you were my last resort. You didn't say it in those exact words, but you clearly implied it. You said you'd settle down when you finished having fun. That makes me the safe, boring alternative. The consolation prize when the game ends. And that's it. After 2.5 years, you just move on like I meant nothing?" "It was 2.5 years, and you were the first one to move on. Did you expect me to wait for you?" Then she played her final desperate card. "What if I was pregnant?" I nearly turned around and walked out without saying anything. "Seriously? You're pulling that now? And if you were, what makes you think I'd believe it's mine? You're an idiot, and I hope you know it. I was honest with you, and this is how you repay me." She stormed out, furious. She blocked me everywhere and started posting quotes on social media about men who can't tolerate personal growth, and how some show their true colors when you're vulnerable. That same night, I was at the house with my dad, George, and Eliza installing new light fixtures in the dining room. I told them about the coffee shop encounter. "Did she really say you had no options because you're a plumber?" Eliza asked incredulously. "Word for word," I nodded. Dad put down the screwdriver. "That girl has no idea what she just lost. Twice." "Twice?" I asked. "The first time was when she decided you were a stage. The second, today, when she thought you should be grateful for her scraps." He picked up the screwdriver again. "Her loss. Eliza, can you flip the circuit breaker back on?" "Sure, George. she replied. Perfect. Now let's see if David wired this correctly, or if we need to call a real electrician. What followed was a downward spiral on Chloe's part. According to mutual friends, she was obsessed with proving I was wrong. Kara, her constant friend, wasn't helping. She fed Chloe's paranoia, telling her I was just using Eliza as a rebound, that she was just a simple gym fanatic who didn't know me like she did. First came the surveillance. Chloe drove by my house. She'd park across the street while I worked in the yard. At first I ignored it. I thought she'd tire out. Dad was the one who noticed. That blue Honda has driven past 3 times this week. She always sits there watching. It's Chloe, I told him casually, as if it were normal. Do you want me to go talk to her? Leave it. She'll get over it. Okay, but if this escalates, next time I'm not asking permission. Then Kara started. She followed me all over town. She appeared at the supermarket I used to go to, at the coffee shop, always with her phone in her hand, pretending to be doing something else, but clearly taking pictures of me. Then she passed all the details to Chloe, who I was with, what I bought, even how I dressed. She even dared to cross paths with Eliza at the gym. She faked an accidental bump, apologized exaggeratedly, and then, loudly, started a fake conversation. Oh my gosh. You're David's new girlfriend. I can't believe Chloe broke up with him. She's been devastated since the split. Seriously, couldn't you talk to him? Maybe give her another chance. Eliza handled it like a pro. I think Chloe's problems are for her and her therapist to deal with, not me and my partner. Kara's face turned red. Afterward, both Chloe and Kara started showing up at the gym with day passes. They made comments like, "It's sad when some men can't be alone," or "Some jump in with the first person they meet." Eliza handled it better than I did. They're jealous, she told me. Chloe had a good thing and let it go. Now she's seeing what she lost. But the situation intensified. Kara started sending Eliza private messages on Instagram, disguised as concern. Hey, I just wanted to warn you about David. He's very controlling. He made Chloe feel like she couldn't have friends or go out. He's putting on an act with you. Be careful. Eliza showed me the messages. She's doing everything she can to break us up. What did you reply? To find a hobby that doesn't involve getting into other people's relationships. Dad was more direct. Block them both, and if they show up at your work again, call the police. They didn't stop. They started spreading rumors among acquaintances, saying I was manipulating Eliza, isolating her, showing classic signs of abuse. They were following the playbook of a real abuser: isolate the victim and make everyone else seem like the enemy. Then flowers started showing up at my front door. No card, just flowers. Every few days, another bouquet. I threw them away, but they kept coming. Secret admirer? Dad asked, seeing me throw them out. Chloe's going crazy. No, she's trying to make you go crazy. Don't give her the satisfaction. Packages started arriving at Eliza's work. Expensive workout clothes, supplements, gift cards for fancy restaurants, all without a sender, but we knew who was sending them. It seemed Chloe was trying to buy her loyalty or show she had money to spare. The final straw was when Kara called Eliza's boss, alleging that I was harassing her and that she feared for her safety. Eliza's boss had to sit down with her and ask if she was okay. It was humiliating and could have affected her career. That night, I called a lawyer. I explained everything: the harassment, the stalking, the attempts to defame Eliza. He said I had enough material to request a restraining order against both of them. Document everything, he recommended. Save the messages. Take photos of the flowers. Get witnesses. This is clear and straightforward harassment. We filed the documents. Monday morning, they were served. The order prohibited them from coming within 150 meters, about 500 feet, of me, my home, my workplace, or Eliza's. When I got home, Dad was installing the new kitchen backsplash. How did it go? It's in effect. They were served. Good. You should have done that weeks ago. Do you think it will stop them? If they have any common sense, yes. If not, the judge will make them understand their emotions don't matter here. For a week, everything was quiet. I thought maybe they had come to their senses. I was wrong. Friday night, while varnishing the back deck, I heard noises on the porch. It was almost 11 p.m. I assumed it was a late delivery. I went to the door, and there was Chloe sitting on the steps, surrounded by a couple dozen roses, drunk, with smeared makeup, and a cup in her hand. "David, please, I just want to talk. I love you. I've always loved you. Kara was wrong. I never should have listened to her. I want to come home." "Chloe, you can't be here. There's a court order prohibiting it. I don't care about that ridiculous paper. This is my house too. We can fix this." She tried to stand up but stumbled. The bottle she was holding slipped from her hands and shattered on the concrete steps. "You need to leave right now. I'm calling the police," I said, pulling out my phone. "No, please, listen to me. Eliza doesn't know you like I do. She's only with you for your house, for your money. I'm the one who truly loves you." I was already dialing when she panicked. "David, no, please don't do it. I'm leaving. Yes, I'm going now." But she was so drunk, she could barely stand. As she tried to step off the porch, she fell, scraped her knee, and burst into even louder sobs. About 10 minutes later, 2 officers arrived. They were professional. But you could tell this wasn't the first time they had handled something like this. "Sir, can you explain what's going on?" I showed them the restraining order and told them what happened. Chloe was still lying on the lawn, crying, repeating that she had made a mistake and just wanted to fix things. "Ma'am, you are under arrest for violating a restraining order. You have the right to remain silent," one of the officers said as they placed her in handcuffs. They put her in the patrol car. One of them stayed with me to take my statement. The other called for someone to deal with the broken glass. "Has she tried to contact you since the order was issued?" the agent asked. "Not directly, but she's driven past the house several times. I have it recorded on the security cameras." "We'll need those recordings. This probably won't be the only time she violates it." The other officer returned, accompanied by a tow truck driver. It turned out Chloe had parked her car illegally before stumbling to my door. They decided to impound it along with her arrest. As they loaded her Honda onto the platform, she watched from the back window, still crying. "That's going to cost her at least $300 just for the impound lot," the police officer commented. "Add that to the bail and the court fees." Ouch. I watched them drive away with her in the back seat of the patrol car, likely headed to spend the night in a cell and face additional charges. About 20 minutes later, Dad arrived. I had called him after the police left. "Are you okay?" he asked, looking at the rose petals scattered on the porch. "Yeah, I'm fine. Just glad this is finally over." "Are you sure it's over?" he asked doubtfully. "It has to be. This time it's serious. She's facing real consequences." Eliza arrived shortly after. While Dad and I swept up the glass, she carefully gathered the petals. "You know what's strangest?" she said. "I almost feel sorry for her. She had something real with you and threw it away because her friend made her believe she deserved something better." "Kara didn't convince her of anything," Dad intervened. "She just gave her the push to do what she already wanted. She was the excuse, not the cause." I looked at the house, the kitchen I renovated with my own hands, the garden we built together, everything I had created, and I understood that Eliza was right. Chloe traded something genuine for a facade that looked good on social media. "It was her choice," I finally said. "I'm exactly where I want to be." Dad swept up the last piece of glass. "I warned you from the start. That girl wasn't good for you." "I know. Of course you know. That's what I'm here for, to spot the crazy ones before you waste your time. Though, to be fair, she was the one who wasted the most time with me. Chloe still wanted to party, and so did I. I just redefined what that meant for me. It no longer involved waiting for someone to decide I was worth it. The best part is that I didn't do it out of revenge. I simply built the life I wanted with the people who did want to be in it. Now, not after getting over some stage. She wanted me as a passing phase, someone to come back to when the fun ended. But she ended up being exactly what she accused me of being, a phase that I had already moved on from. While she was probably being booked at a police station, facing contempt charges, I was at home, in the garden I cared for so much, with a woman who doesn't see me as a last resort option. Dad is here to make sure I don't do anything stupid, and Eliza, simply because she wants to be. All right, Dad said, putting away the broom. Problem solved. Eliza, are you staying for dinner? I'm making my famous chili. Famous, really? Eliza asked. Depends on your definition of famous. David's eaten it for 20 years and he's still alive. That doesn't sound very convincing, she joked. You want an honest recommendation? It's better than anything you cook. He's right, Eliza added. See? She gets it. I like this girl, David. Don't mess it up. I smiled without saying anything. There was no need to. Dad went into the kitchen, humming a tune as he started preparing his famous chili. Eliza and I stood for a moment at the entrance, watching the night slowly fall over the garden. Are you okay? She asked quietly. Yes. I'm just trying to process everything. It's not easy seeing someone you knew so closely end up like that. I understand, she replied. But it's also a sign that you're no longer in that place, that you've grown. I nodded. I feel some sadness, sure, but also immense peace. As if I've finally closed a door that was left ajar for too long. Come on, I said with a half smile. If you stay out here too long, Dad will put you on onion chopping duty. And here I thought you liked me, she joked as we walked inside. The house smelled of spices and home. For the first time in a long time, I felt like everything was in its right place, not because the past had disappeared, but because it no longer had power over me.